The Aurora Grand Resort and Spa gleamed like a jewel against the Aspen mountains, its pristine, snow-covered grounds meticulously maintained for the holiday elite. I watched from the staff entrance as the Blackwood family's Range Rover pulled up to the main entrance, where an eager valet rushed to assist my mother-in-law, Evelyn, with her designer luggage. "Miss Parker," my assistant manager Lisa whispered urgently, "the Blackwoods are requesting their usual suite, but the East Wing renovation. Move them to the Lakeview Presidential Suite," I cut in, adjusting my name tag that read simply Alex, Guest Services, and make sure they don't find out it's a complimentary upgrade. "But that's our best. Trust me," I said, smiling as Evelyn snapped at a bellhop for touching her Hermes bag the wrong way. "Let them think they're getting special treatment because they're valued guests, not because they're family." Family. The word still tasted bitter after 3 years of marriage to James Blackwood, golden son of the Boston elite. The same James who was now helping his sister Cordelia out of the car, both pretending not to see me standing by the service entrance in my hotel uniform. "Alex," my husband finally acknowledged me as he passed, looking uncomfortable in his cashmere sweater. "I thought you'd be off today." "Someone has to work during the holidays," I replied evenly. "Besides, your mother specifically requested that competent staff be on duty during their stay." James winced. "About that, Mother's been talking to hotel management about having you reassigned away from guest areas," I finished for him. "Yes, I got the strongly worded email about maintaining appropriate boundaries between staff and guests." "Darling," Evelyn's voice cut through the crisp mountain air, "the suite isn't prepared. And where is that useless girl who usually handles our arrangements?" "Right here, Mrs. Blackwood," I said, stepping forward with a professional smile firmly in place. "I've taken the liberty of upgrading you to our Lakeview Presidential Suite due to the ongoing renovations." Evelyn's perfectly Botox face couldn't quite manage a frown. "The Presidential Suite? Well, naturally, the Blackwood name does carry certain expectations." Of course, I agreed smoothly, though I should mention that the suite's private butler service is temporarily unavailable. "You'll have to make do with regular staff." "Regular staff?" Cordelia looked horrified. "But Daddy always says we require specialized service due to our particular standards." I bit back what I really wanted to say about their particular standards. Instead, I gestured to the elevator. "I'm sure we can accommodate your needs. Will Mr. Blackwood Sr. be joining you?" "Richard is flying in tomorrow on the private jet," Evelyn said, carefully enunciating each word as if I might not understand. "He's been finalizing the purchase of several luxury properties. You know how it is. Oh wait," she added with a malicious smile. "I suppose you don't." If only she knew that her husband's latest acquisition attempt had been blocked by a mysterious holding company, the same company that owned the very resort she was currently sneering in. "Mother," James started, but Evelyn waved him off. "Really, James, I don't know why you insist on letting her work here. A Blackwood spouse serving drinks by the pool. It's positively mortifying." "I believe the bar manager position involves more than serving drinks," I said mildly. "Oh yes, taking inventory of little bottles." "How challenging." Evelyn turned to the bellhop. "Our bags, please, and do try not to scratch anything this time." As they swept toward the elevator, Cordelia lingered behind to stage whisper to James, "Daddy's furious about the Aurora acquisition falling through. Some upstart company beat him to it." I waited until they were out of earshot before allowing myself a small smile. Richard Blackwood had spent months trying to add Aurora resorts to his portfolio, never realizing that the upstart company blocking him was run by his own daughter-in-law. "Miss Parker," Lisa appeared at my elbow. "The renovations contractor needs your approval on the East Wing changes." "Coming," I nodded, then paused. "And Lisa? Make sure the Blackwood suite has an excellent view of tomorrow's construction work, especially the noisy part." The next morning brought fresh snow and fresh demands from my in-laws. Evelyn had already sent back her breakfast 3 times, each complaint more absurd than the last. "The eggs are too symmetrical," Lisa read from the latest note. "Mrs. Blackwood says it makes them look common." I was about to respond when Richard Blackwood's familiar voice boomed across the lobby. "What do you mean? You can't accommodate my helicopter. Don't you know who I am?" "Of course, Mr. Blackwood," our front desk manager Thomas replied, admirably calm. "But the helipad is closed for safety inspections. Resort policy." "Policy?" Richard's face reddened. I'll have you know I'm in negotiations to buy this entire chain. Now get me your superior. That would be me, I said, stepping forward, enjoying the way his expression shifted from outrage to confusion to horror. You, he sputtered. The bartender. Actually, I smiled. I'm the regional manager for Aurora Resort's Mountain Division, among other things. Regional? Richard's voice trailed off just as Evelyn and Cordelia emerged from the elevator. Daddy, Cordelia rushed forward. Did you tell them about buying the resort? Can we fire the help that's been so rude? About that, I interrupted smoothly. I'm afraid Aurora Resorts isn't for sale. In fact, your recent attempt to acquire shares was specifically blocked by the board. The board? Richard's face darkened. Listen here, young lady. I've been in luxury properties longer than you've been alive. One call to your corporate office would go straight to my voicemail. I finished. Would you like to know why? Richard Blackwood's face cycled through several shades of red as understanding slowly dawned. You're the one who blocked the acquisition. Alexandra Parker Holdings, I confirmed. The upstart company that's been giving you so much trouble. Though technically, that's just a subsidiary of the main corporation. Main corporation? Evelyn's voice had risen to a near shriek. What main corporation? Aurora International, I said simply. Owner of Aurora Resorts, Aurora Properties, and about a dozen other hospitality brands you've been trying to acquire over the past 5 years. James stepped forward, looking between me and his father. Alex, what are you saying? I'm saying, I met his eyes steadily, that while your family was busy mocking my little hotel job, I was running one of the largest luxury hospitality groups in the world. Those little bottles I inventory, they're part of a billion-dollar operation. Cordelia grabbed her father's arm. But Daddy, you said Aurora was a family-owned business. That's why it would be an easy takeover. It is family-owned, I smiled. My family, started by my grandmother as a single ski lodge in Colorado, built into an empire while everyone underestimated her, kind of like how you've all been underestimating me. The lobby had grown quiet, with other guests pretending not to watch the drama unfold. Richard's hand trembled as he reached for his phone. One call to my lawyers. Already got one from them this morning. I cut in, right after they discovered who really owns the majority shares in Aurora. Tell me, did you really think you could orchestrate a hostile takeover without doing proper research? Research? Evelyn's voice dripped with disdain, but I could see the fear behind her perfect makeup. On hotel manager. On the CEO of Aurora International, I corrected, who happens to believe in knowing every aspect of her business, including how to serve drinks by the pool. James was staring at me like he'd never seen me before. All those business trips, the late-night calls, board meetings, I nodded. Acquisition negotiations, running a global company. Did you really think I was just doing inventory? But you work here, Cordelia protested. Like actually work, with uniforms and everything. Every Aurora executive works annual rotations at our properties, I explained. It's company policy. Keeps us connected to what matters, the actual work that makes these resorts run. That's absurd, Evelyn sniffed. No real CEO would lower themselves to manual labor. That attitude, I said quietly, is exactly why you'll never understand true success. You think being above the work makes you superior. We know that understanding every job and respecting every worker is what builds something lasting. Richard had gone from red to pale. The merger proposals, the acquisition offers, were denied by me. Personally, I straightened my name tag, usually while serving your family drinks or checking you into your suite. Why? James asked suddenly. Why not tell us? Would it have changed anything? I challenged. Would your mother have treated our staff better if she knew I signed their paychecks? Would your sister have stopped calling you the help if she knew I owned the help? The silence that followed was answer enough. Now, I continued briskly, about your stay. While I'd love to have you removed from the property, I believe in professional courtesy. You can keep the presidential suite, at full price, of course. But there are going to be some changes. Changes? Evelyn's voice quavered. First, you'll treat every staff member with respect. One complaint about your behavior, and you'll be asked to leave. Second, no more special demands or off-menu requests. You'll enjoy the same excellent service all our guests receive. And if we refuse, Richard tried to sound confident, but his voice shook slightly. Then not only will you leave this resort, I said calmly, but you'll also find yourselves unwelcome at any Aurora property worldwide, including that little villa in the south of France you're so fond of. The silence that followed my ultimatum was broken only by the gentle holiday music playing in the lobby. Evelyn clutched her designer handbag like a shield, while Richard seemed to age years before my eyes, his empire-building dreams crumbling. James finally spoke up. All this time, you let them treat you like someone beneath them? I finished. Yes, because I wanted to see who they really were. Who you really were. And he looked almost afraid of the answer. And now I know. I turned to Lisa, who had been quietly observing. Please ensure the Blackwoods get the full Aurora experience during their stay. Every standard procedure, every regular policy. No special treatment. Lisa asked, failing to hide her smile. None. I met Evelyn's horrified gaze. They can experience what it's like to be treated exactly like everyone else. This is ridiculous, Cordelia burst out. Daddy, do something. Call your lawyers. Your father's lawyers, I said gently, are currently discovering that every attempted hostile takeover, every underhanded business tactic he's used against Aurora properties has been documented. Would you like to discuss that publicly? Richard deflated visibly. What do you want? Want? I considered the question. I want you to understand that the woman you dismissed as the help has been 10 steps ahead of you in every business deal. I want you to realize that while you were bragging about buying my company, I was watching you reveal every weakness in yours. Are you threatening us? Evelyn's voice shook. Not at all. I'm offering you an education. I gestured around the lobby. Every person working here, every servant you've looked down on, is part of what makes Aurora successful. Their hard work, their dedication, their professionalism, that's real value. Not your name, not your social status. Not your ability to demand special treatment. James stepped forward. Alex, I need to decide, I finished for him, whether you want to be part of a family that measures worth by work or one that measures it by privilege. He's a Blackwood. Evelyn protested. He belongs with real society, not serving drinks and changing sheets. Actually, James said quietly, I've been thinking about leaving the family firm. About doing something that matters. What? Richard looked like he might faint. Aurora has an excellent management training program, I offered. Starting in housekeeping, moving through every department, learning the business from the ground up. Housekeeping. Cordelia looked scandalized. James, you can't. But I could see it in his eyes, the relief of finally breaking free from the golden cage of expectations, the excitement of building something real. When can I start? He asked. Evelyn sank onto a lobby sofa, her perfect posture crumbling. This is a nightmare, simply a nightmare. No, I corrected her. This is reality. The reality of how successful businesses are actually built through hard work, respect, and understanding every aspect of operations. I turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Richard, the next time you try to take over a company, you might want to check who owns it first. The little hotel girl might just be the CEO. Later that evening, I found James in the staff break room, his cashmere sweater replaced by an Aurora uniform. They've gone back to Boston, he said. Dad's canceling all the takeover plans. Mom's telling everyone they decided Aurora properties are beneath their standards. And you? I asked quietly. I'm ready to learn, he smiled. Really learn from the ground up, if you'll give me the chance. The work is hard, I warned. No special treatment, no shortcuts. Good. He looked around the break room, seeing it with new eyes. You know what I realized today? I've never built anything real. Never earned anything. Maybe it's time I did. I handed him a name tag that read, James, housekeeping trainee. Then welcome to Aurora Resorts, where everyone's story begins with a uniform and a willingness to work. As we walked through the hotel, staff members who had once scurried away from the Blackwood family now nodded respectfully, not because of his name, but because he was one of them. Learning, working, building something real. Sometimes, I reflected, the best revenge isn't exposing someone's pretense, it's showing them a better way to live. Even if that means starting in housekeeping with a silver spoon in your pocket.